Hello 7 citizens, my name is Black and welcome to my channel Cast of Black Gaming, where my house is your house. And after such an informative CitizenCon that still has my mind reeling with two of the most anticipated features discussed and shown off, it can be very easy to forget what we didn't get, and there's a lot. So let's go ahead and get through this intro and discuss some of those features that we are still kind of clueless on with no recent updates. Alright, so this one is a big one, and while it was shown a little in regards to FPS play, what about ships and how they will be broken down better for the next version of salvaging? Building and all that is great, but with crafting coming, especially the crafting and further repairing of ships, I think it's sort of a needed thing to know about at this point. Now, we got some interesting news about some new dungeon type things coming to Area 18 and beyond, but it would have been nice to see some future mission types from Elliot and the missions team, especially to line up with what to expect in terms of the missions to go along with guilds and the new reputations that are coming. We just recently had a new Save Stanton event, and with Pyro and Nyx, what other mission types or events can we expect? Will all of the events focus solely on mostly combat as they have in the past? With crafting coming, that makes room for some cool crafting type of missions, if those are even going to be a thing. Announcing crafting and base building was a nice addition, but I think the missions team being left out after those amazing announcements was a mistake, because we now have way more questions than answers, and until ISCs and SCLs start back up again, we're left to throw those questions out into a social void, hoping for a dev response. So with this one, what is going on with hacking other than that it held up the Legionnaire's release? We've seen a little bit of it in game so far, but nothing like possible minigame that we were shown years ago at this point. Now, we were just shown that we could craft a Volt weapon, but when did those actually come into the game? Not to mention there are a few other weapon types like the crossbow, plasma, incendiary, and flak ammunition that's been worked on for ages now, but we still haven't seen. So for this one, whether we're talking about FPS scanning or ship scanning, which needs some major work, we had no mention of it, and this is one that has many gameplay features tied up until it arrives. What's the current progress here, CIG? Alright, so we had what looks to be two medical gameplay ships that are coming in the next 12 to 18 months, and they mentioned insurance and death of a spaceman in passing, and since medical gameplay was Rich's baby before he headed off to Squadron, I had hoped to hear it mentioned here more in depth with the 1.0 presentation, but nope, nothing. We have nothing but guesswork here, and I do not think the current way beds are handled will remain if both of those ships arrive in the next year. So what new features can we expect, if any, with such a push for medical ships, because change is definitely coming. Alright, so now this one I know is waiting on key tech such as the new mission system and how NPCs will be handled across server meshing, but it would still be nice to hear something because some aspects are in fact ready, such as being able to take down captures alive, even if we haven't seen it in game yet and haven't really seen it demonstrated since one of the ISCs in 2023. The Zeus MR is also on hold until we get this feature, and with many people asking for an update on that ship, it seemed like a good time to give us something. So with this one, we've seen the new quantum travel effects a few times, but still no news on when they're coming into the game. Now you coupled that with the speed boost that they showed off last year to move between longer distances at a faster speed around a planet, and we have some things that we have all been anxiously awaiting that we did not get an update for. Okay, so here's another one. We did see refineries coming to base building, but what about those ships that will have them on board? We did not see any refinery ships in the T, so I think it's a safe bet that we will only get refining in our bases before we get them on any ships, which sucks because I do still own two of the ships that could possibly get it. Alright, so where is FPS Sliding? Once again, we saw NPCs do it in a video, but it's not in the game yet for players. When, Zach, when? Okay, so this is a big one that so many are waiting on and we need more info on, especially since these are paid for items, and especially with it briefly being mentioned as a possibility with crafting. How can we get our items back? Now, so are the plans now to just allow us to craft them to get them back? We need more details, please. So with the news of armor sets coming and some rather bad news for many about how you might not be able to fly in heavy armor, is there any news on armor lockers or the possible hanger method? And by hanger here I mean like a clothes hanger and not a flight hanger, so you can easily swap between your armor builds, as this was mentioned sometime back on ISE. Is that still on the docket, or has something else taken its place? Because we definitely will need better methods to change out our gear on the go. Alright, so this was on the roadmap for a long time, and with more waters being added to future planets, I'm just curious if and when this is coming and how. Alright, so I'm not going to mention any vehicles by name because everyone here has a vehicle they are or have been waiting for. I'm only going to say for those who have not heard this before, and I really hate to sound like I don't care, but if there's a vehicle you are anxiously waiting for and you did not hear it mentioned at CitizenCon and it was not part of the hints that they showed, it's not currently in development and they do not have a time frame for when it will be. That's been their answer as recently as the last time John Crew was on ISE earlier this year. I know it sucks because we all have that one or more vehicle that we're anxiously waiting for, but they only have so much time on their schedule. Okay, so that's it for this look at things that we did not hear about. Now, it's by no means a definitive list here, and so let me know down in the comments what bit of news you were hoping to hear that me and CIG both missed. Now, from this list, which one are you most anxiously awaiting for news on? And while I've got you doing things, please also like and subscribe below, and you can also join my Discord where me and others comment on all things Star Citizen, including these things that were missed and vehicles and everything else in between, and we also like to help new players find their way. Anyway, I've been Black, and I hope to see you out there in the verse, and as always, keep it positive.